Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here. And welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Now today, I'm taking a look at the Freelancer MIS. Now, I actually did leave this till last, and I explained in the last video, because actually in the Freelancer series, it was sort of the order that I would have actually picked it in. And this would probably be the last one. But actually, do you know what? Spending a bit of time on the ship and running around with it, I'm not actually quite sure now, because actually it does look like a pretty good ship, and you're going to see why shortly. There's actually got some fundamental features that make it a very good ship, but we can go through that. Now, first of all, let's fly through some of the basic stats. Now, if you've seen one of my Freelancer videos before, you know, we spoke about the cargo aspect of it. Now, this is the smallest of the four, which is the Freelancer, the DER, the Max, out of all of them. It's not by much. It carries 132 freight units. Not the end of the world. I mean, if the next lowest one to that is you're looking at around about, I think it's 148, and that's the exploration ship, the DER. So it's not a massive amount, really. Where you're talking like 10, 15 cargo units. It's not the end of the world, is it? Now, this has some key features. I've had a look through, and what I can actually see there, it actually says that this carries a crew of 3. And all the other ones carry a crew of 2. Now, I'm going to show you why that is in a minute. Well, what I've worked out, I think why that is, and I'm sure you can debate it in the comments, but it does look like I possibly might be right, but we'll go through that in a second. Now, looking through, yeah, it obviously has weaponry, which is obviously, you know, that's the whole point. It's a military class ship. This is actually for, I'm going to say fighting, really. I mean, this is you know, you can carry cargo, and you can defend yourself phenomenally. You know, there's no doubt about it. You can really defend yourself in this. There's no doubt about it. If you saw this in space, you would have to, you know, be very careful. Like any of the Freelancer series, they can all defend themselves, but when you're going up against a Freelancer that is purely designed and manufactured for that very person, which is combat. So, now, go looking through the stats. On the maneuver thrusters, looks pretty much the same as all the other ships. It's got 80 TR2s. The only sort of really the difference is the maximum engine, the primary maximum engine. It's got 2 TR5, which is, you know, pretty much the same as all the other series apart from the Max. But we've had this conversation before. The Max is more than likely got them 2 engines because obviously the cargo load that it's carrying, so it's probably going to need that extra thrust. So there's nothing really different there to any of the others. The maximum shields are 5. You know, that's nothing groundbreaking. I think if it would have been 6, it would have been a bit more groundbreaking. On the basis that the normal Freelancer and the DER have the maximum shield capacity of 5. The only one that has something slightly lower, which is the Max, which is the cargo hauler, which sort of makes sense to me, really, because like I said before, the cargo haul, you know, you're not relying on massive shields there. You know, you're relying on the fact that you're going to be moving cargo and you're going to be evading that sort of contact. So, moving on the weaponry side, look, without going into too much detail, this has better weapons. This is what my interpretation of it. I mean, you look at the side guns there. You've got the missiles on the end arm there. Now, the key factor with this ship, guys, is it has a Tesla jump engine, obviously, to start with, like most of them. But the key factor here is a Bearing Express missile replenishment system. And it has 2 times, 10 times, is it Beringham Marksman 2? So you can ask yourself, what the hell is that? And that's exactly the first thing I thought is, you know, okay, what's that? When I was actually walking down to the ship, and the reason I sort of started researching, really looking into it, I was walking down to the ship, and I was looking on the roof, and I thought, can you see anything sticking out the roof there? I thought, what the hell's that? Now, I was looking at the other one, I was thinking, hang on a minute, well that's, you know, you look at each ship and you say, what is actually different? We can look at this and say, yeah, okay, it's got the extended, it's got the extra fuel tanks. Here, there was something on the roof. Now, and it's all going to be apparent soon. Well, first of all, let's take a look round, and then we go and investigate what these funny things popping out the roof is. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's obviously a weapon of some sort. Right, okay, let's take a look on the exterior. Now, we've got the same guns as we've got on all the sort of Freelancer series on the side there, so nothing new there, really. Has a couple more missiles than the others. And one key factor, don't forget with these missiles, they're not replenishable. Once you fired them, they're gone. So, you know, it's not like saying, okay, once you find them, they're gone, you can never have them back. They're not, this is not a game where you fire a missile and all of a sudden it just appears back on the wing, you know, 2 seconds later. That's not the case. Once that missile's left that arm and you used it, it's gone until you land and then reload. So I like that. Looking around here, which we're calling the wing here, there is some sort of slot here. See this here? This arm? I'm hoping what that's going to be, some sort of module for extended tanks or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. There's obviously going to be something that bolts on there. Not quite sure what it is as yet. And also you can see a couple of little parts on the arm there, which is obviously going to be to bolting on other sort of weaponry and stuff like that, which is going to be pretty cool further on down the line. Moving around to sort of the rear section, we've got them same thrusters we've got on all the Freelancers, so obviously only 2 in this case. I actually worked out the door thing, guys. It's actually under here. It's just here, which is a little bit odd. I'm not going to lie to you, but I watched someone else's video, believe it or not, and I saw them pressing the button under there. Sort of did run around there, I must have missed it. Moving around this side, you can see, I tried to get a better angle, you can actually see at the top there, something poking out the roof. We're going to move around. I was actually quite surprised that by default, they're extended, and you're going to see what I mean in a minute. Moving around this side, obviously, oh look, actually, you can actually see this on this side, guys. Look, we've actually got the end missiles bolted on, so how many we got there? We got 5 on that side. So a quick fly around here, guys. Okay, so we've got a different configuration there. I don't know if it, oh, it looks... I see the issue there. One of the missiles has fallen off his rack there at the top. I think the payloads are supposed to be the same as this, but obviously there's a bug with that side, guys. And this one's not quite right neither. It looks like that one's... Oh no, it looks right on this side. So there we are, and that's a better example of the missile racks actually, isn't it? Because obviously there's a slight bug on the other side. Still looks like there should be something under this wing. Like I said, if this had extended fuel tanks, guys, it'd be fantastic because, I mean, you're only losing, like I said, you know, 20 or 30 cargo units. It's not a massive amount between the standard Freelancer and you're getting this awesome weaponry, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, as I say, pretty good missiles there, good tier as well. You can have a look at the stats on the stats page, guys, if you want to go into massive details of what's carrying. Now, let's go and have a look in the back. Now, the first thing I noticed is looking at the original Freelancer, this is actually the same size, pretty much the same size. So you're asking yourself, all right, well, why have we got a size difference if the cargo holds the same? So, have a look, and you're going to see why. So this explains 2 things. First of all, why it's a 3-person ship rather than the 2 like the other Freelancer series. And secondly, why the cargo hold is obviously going to be smaller. Now, for the guys who are familiar with the Freelancer series, this doesn't look anything like any of the cargo holds of the other Freelancer series. Because of this, there's all this stuff there. Well, these are, but... obviously some cooling tubes, maybe. Down this end. We've got these same little transformer boxes which appear on all of them, which we assume there's some sort of cooling. You can got the multiple colours there, which are the, you know, the black, the red, and the blue there, which sort of compare up over here. Further down here, got this sort of top section there, which is pretty... looks like wires or something, not quite sure. Moving down this side. This is pretty new as well, I've not seen this before. Looks like some sort of hatch there. Obviously, oh, look, there's a button there, look. There's the button. I wonder if I open that, that'd be pretty cool. Further on down the line. It's a nice detail there. This one hasn't got the funny blob, guys. If you go and watch my last Freelancer video, you know what I mean. This looks better. I think that sort of tells me that the other one was probably bugged out, because that looks a lot better than the previous version. And now this is the significant thing, this thing here. Now obviously I can't do anything with it now. What this has, it has a replenishing missile system, or firing system, if you want to call it that. And you can see them up the top there. And basically what I'm assuming what happens, I mean, I can't try the animations, but I'll tell you what I can do, guys. I don't know if it's going to be any better, but let's just try that. You can see them on the roof there. Basically what happens is they fire, they go down, they replenish, and they come back up. But there's obviously going to be a role for an individual here. So there's going to be, I don't know how much area here. I mean, you can ask yourself the question, what are you taking this out for? If you're taking it out just for fighting, maybe your cargo hold is actually just loads of missiles. You know, racks and racks of them, and you just have a guy in here, reload, you know, shouting down, and he just reloads by this panel. That'd be interesting. That's pretty cool. It does make you a bit volatile, if you know what I mean. If someone sees you, they might want to aim for your hull, or aim for the rear compartment on the basis that it's a high possibility, you're going to be carrying a shed loads of missiles. But like I said, having the ability to actually reload is awesome, guys, because, unlike the majority of the other ships, that's not an option, like we said. With these ones over here, once they fired, they've gone. Then all you're left with is the bearing guns and the top mounts. I'm not saying for a second that these guns are going to be incapable of defending itself. But one thing we do know from the dogfighting module is that the missiles are very, very effective. So having the ability to reload, fantastic. And obviously it's got bigger guns. All the guns are pretty much just slightly bigger than the others, not massively. But the key factor here for me is definitely this. And I don't know, we're not sure on the animations yet. I don't know how many missiles it's going to hold in a rack. You can see there's some hydraulic rams there. Where the missile's going to be stored. I'm making an assumption here, guys, because you've seen this round runner here. We've got one there, we've got one there. We've got them all there, haven't we? Right? You can see that looks like it's going to do something. Just press a button. Probably going to close the door, innit? That's going to close the door. Shouldn't got any more buttons over here. Nope. So does this then mean that this is the only cargo space here where I'm standing? Is this where or can you put cargo here and just take a couple of missiles and reload them? I suppose it's going to be optional at the end of the day. But I think the advantage here is having the ability to fire multiple, not just multiple, but I'm not going to say continuous, but a hell of a lot of missiles, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So a major asset. It's the first ship to have anything like this, guys, out of all of them. I mean, you could say the Freelancer racks could reload, but sorry, not the Freelancer, sorry, the Constellation racks, the pop-out arms. If you've seen the animation, guys, the long, probably 4 or 5 meter long missile racks that extend out the side. There is an element of some of them can reload, but this is totally different. And the reason is also because, I don't know who's saying the right word, is the caliber of the missile. The fact that they can load such a large missile is going to be absolutely vital, guys. It's going to be awesome. And it's almost like going to be like the bomber. When we first time we see one of the bomber, we know there's bomb bay doors. This is going to have, that's also going to have something very similar to this. So, wow, guys, fantastic. So, it's going to be really exciting to see how, and the mechanics, and see actually how this works, and how the animations work, and also to see how much storage space you're going to get left over once it's there. And, maybe this turns out to have a role in the game where it is. I know it is classed as a fighter, I'm saying it's a military ship, but maybe this storage area here becomes just missiles packed out in the whole entire room. And that becomes the key role, and you just have a guy standing here, reloading every now and again. Now the question is obviously, we can see this panel, is it to actually reload? I'm making that assumption. I suppose it wouldn't be a bad assumption. I suppose then the only question is obviously when you're in the cockpit, you have to send someone down here to reload, because you might have someone in the front section, flying it. You might have someone in the top gun on the rear, and then you've only got one person really to do everything else, run around. So it's not like he's not going to have anything to do. And if we get all these little things over here, like I said earlier, like these little button things, because we did in one of the sort of very early 10 for the Chairman, Chris Roberts said that what they're going to probably implement into the game, which would be really cool, is like, you're flying along and you come under attack and all of a sudden there's a fire or there's a cooling leak, and you can come out and very much, like Star Trek, Star Trek, the latest game, not Sins of Solace, the actual game, where you can actually go up to things and you have to do a little mini game to repair the leak, and stuff like that. So maybe something like that, or maybe something along the lines of a fire and you have to put the fire out. There's all these sorts of things that can be added into the game to make it, not just better for you as a pilot, because as much as you say you don't want that, you sort of do, because it make it pretty cool. And you can have your mate running around, loading the weapons, running around repairing leaks, as long as it's not too consistent. It depends if you're coming under attack, putting out fires, jumping in the gun, and I think it's got to create that level of interaction for them other people on board. Otherwise, like, what the hell are they going to do if you get one's game? Well, anyways, let's move on anyway. So Yeah, fantastic, guys. The unique selling point of this ship is 100% this, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, the external guns are good, but this is the only ship so far that we can actually walk in, if you know what I'm saying, that we can actually see this in action, and pretty cool, right? Center airlocks section, guys. I've covered this off in my other Freelancer video. Really, both of them are all the same. Got the hatch there with the ladder. Same doors, really. The animations are a little bit more polished on this one, I've noticed. The way everything moves, and particularly that part on the other side of the door, which looked a bit... it's probably bugged out, I should imagine. Materials look fantastic. Move into this section. And close this door. Same controls. I'm hoping all these stuff do things, like it tell you how much... What I'm hoping that I do, guys, is how much I want to know, how much pressure, how much oxygen, or how much pressure I've got in this cabin. And then in the middle one, I want to know on the other side of the door, and then the back one in the back door. So, because what you don't want to do, guys, is go, okay, it's in the door. Yeah, and you got, I don't know, a hole breach or something, I don't know. It must be, need a way to know when there's an issue. I'm sure that the pilot will have that information, I hope so anyway. So, beds are here. Storage compartments. Every time you come in here, guys, you see something new. Same fire extinguishers as the last ones. Pretty much identically the same, really. Can't see any major differences here. Standard bunk beds. Like most of them. 4 beds. Doesn't mean just because this is a two-man crew that you can't take more than 2. Or sorry, a 3-man crew in this case. Obviously it seats 4. I'm assuming what they mean by 2 people. It takes 2 people to fly the ship, whether it's you and an AI, or you could do it on your own. But the disadvantage you would have is if you're flying it, who's going to fire the rear gun? If you've got a military class ship, you really want you want that second person to fire the gun turret on the roof. So you need that person. Why do you need 3? Well, I'm making a guess, guys, because he needs to reload the missiles. That's got to be it. That's got to be his priority. And that's why this is probably classed as a 3. But you can carry a 4th. I mean, you could have someone loading the missiles, and you could have 2 people sitting in the crew seats, and one guy saying, look, there's a target over there, the other one targeting and stuff like that. How the consoles are going to work, I'm hoping they're going to do something like similar like armor, where you can pass the controls over to the co-pilot and stuff like that. And let's say, for instance, that you're flying along and the guy in the gunner gets killed for some reason, then maybe he may need to go and do something in the rear cargo hold and pass the controls over to someone else. So there's going to be an advantage of 4 people, but what hasn't really been identified is, what are these other workstation and modules that you can implement, maybe like this and this? Is it just going to be informational, or are these individuals actually going to be able to interact with the console and the ship as you're playing? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So guys, pretty much the same cockpit as before, really, so nothing to really go through here. And then we've got obviously the same sort of, we're calling it the front door. Is that it there? There we go. Moving back outside. This is the, so I always call it the Freelancer with the 2 bobbles on the front. Don't know if I actually prefer that or the ones without, to be honest with you. Not sort of majorly concerned. But like I said, I think this, I'm going to call this the underdog, really. I mean, for me, really, I suppose if I spent more time on this ship, I would have realised about that the ability to reload, which is pretty cool, guys. That's going to be... It's going to be a very dangerous ship, very, very dangerous, purely on the basis that, where other ships, you might come into a battle, he might evade 3 or 4 missiles, and, maybe that you're out for a long period of time. And then while you're out for a long period of time, he may have no more missiles left on the wings, but, he can reload that absolutely massive gun on top of the roof, or the missile rack on the roof, which is going to be a massive advantage. So having the ability to be able to load in space is going to be really cool. I mean, is there going to be there's going to be obviously locations in space where you can rearm, but if you're in deep space, that is going to be challenging. And at the same time, if we get extended tanks on here or something like that, that'd be really cool. You only need your tanks really for your thruster and so on. So are you going to you know, if you head in one direction and thrust full power and then stop, obviously you're going to still move forward. So, you know, it depends how you want to fly the ship. What we do know, there's going to be different modes anyway on the ship that you can fly in fuel economy mode, or, you know, you get the idea. So the addition for this ship to have maybe extending tanks or something like that, yeah, because then you're doing long to short range. And in fact, I think that the benefit you're going to come into with this ship is actually when you go into long range, it's the fact that you can rearm once again, because, you know, where other ships are not going to have that capability, you're going to be coming across, you know, not saying that you're going to be a pirate, guys, but if you are and you go into deep space and you come across a ship and that ship's maybe depleted all his ammunition because he's been out for X amount of time, and you could have been out for maybe twice the length as him, you know, he's going to be in trouble. There's no doubt about it, because for every missile you fire, if you've got one extra guy in the back reloading it, he's almost going to be a goner, isn't he? It's going to be very difficult. So, like I said, guys, what a fantastic ship. Quite excited to see how this turns out. I'm looking forward to seeing the animations and how that works in the rear there. And once again, oh God, what's this going to be like when it's in the multiplayer dogfighting? I think it's actually going to be pretty good. And I think the fact that it looks like that someone has to reload in the rear, sort of makes it a bit more exciting as well. You know, I like the fact that you can have your mate in the back there reloading it. I don't know how bored he's going to get in there, you know, just reloading. Maybe if it was two of you, maybe he could jump in the top gun and then come down and reload and mix up between the two. Maybe that's enough for two people, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. So I'd just like to say thanks to Firestar, lending me his account with all these ships. It's very kind of him. I don't have all the ships, but it's very kind of you to let me do these reviews and let everyone else see these ships. So it gives you a bit of an idea before you go out and buy something, you know, what you're actually going to get and what the advantage of all the ships. So Firestar, man, good man, appreciate that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.